is, first of all, hey, you know me, I'm Tara Swiger. I help makers and designers become their own best business expert and guide them to build profitable, sustainable businesses. My dog is click-clacking into the room. So today we're going to talk about how to grow your business, the mindset shift you need to make, and how you can feel confident and not crazy while you're growing your handmade business. So how many of you guys first have handmade businesses? Either you are a designer or you are a maker, an artist, somebody who produces something with your hands or your brain or your thoughts. Tell me in the comments what you make. I want to see. When I talk to makers and artists, the thing that they tell me most often is that they feel overwhelmed, or they feel distracted, or they feel like they've tried a bunch of stuff. Like, what's making them feel overwhelmed and distracted and like they're all over the place is that they've tried a bunch of stuff and it's just not working for them. They have spent time trying to get Instagram to work and they don't feel like it's working. They've spent time trying to get their Facebook page to do something. Maybe they started a Facebook group. Maybe they're like, should I use YouTube? Should I do live events? Should I get involved in wholesale shops? Like, what is the thing I should do that would make my business grow? And they feel overwhelmed because they think they should do all the things: email list, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Snapchat, be in person, be online, have a shop here, do this. And that's just like extremely overwhelming. And it's also distracting because at no point do they feel like they can stop other stuff and just focus on one area. So how many of y'all have felt like that before? That's really normal. A lot of people feel like that. And I don't want you to feel that way. I want you to feel calm and focused and like you know what you need to do next. You are clear about what the next step in your business needs to be in order for you to be profitable. And not only do I want you to know what to do next, but I want you to have the confidence to actually follow through and do it and know that it will work. Because a lot of times we don't know what we hear will work because we don't do what we hear will work because we don't know if it'll work for us. Have you guys been there before? You hear somebody say something is great, but you're like, well, that worked for me in my business. So you kind of don't do anything with it. And then you just have this whole list of things that maybe might work if you did them, but you don't do them. So before we go into how you feel confident in that, we're going to talk about Star Trek. Do y'all know, and I promise this relates, do y'all know the original Star Trek show? Give me a yes, a hands up, even a Vulcan hand in the comment. So with William Shatner, the amazing William Shatner as Kirk, and my most favorite person in the whole world, Leonard Nimoy as Spock. Yes? Comment yes. You know that. Thumbs up. Okay. I see a Spock hand. Yes. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, you need to drop everything and go watch the original series. They probably have it at your local library. I will let you borrow my DVDs. It is amazing and hilarious. If you have watched the reboot with new young people, one of the Chris's, Chris Pine as Captain Kirk, then you're going to be able to follow along with this metaphor, but you're extremely missing out. So when you are watching the original Star Trek with Kirk and Spock and everybody, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but what that show is really about is a team of people who work beautifully together. Everybody has their role and everyone's really good at their role. And no matter what gets thrown at them, they make it through. They figure it out. They are like going a direction. They never seem to get what they're going, but they go new places. They discover new things. They follow their mission, even though stuff is always crazy. There are like gods on some planets and monsters on some planets and sexy green women on some other planets, but yet they always make it through. So Kirk always reacts immediately with confidence. The captain always knows what to do. He's instinctual, he's confident, he gets it done. Spock always has access to the data he needs and he knows how to translate it into making a good decision. Uhura, I always feel like I'm saying it wrong. Uhura, she's super skilled at communication. Now, in the show, she's like never able to get through, but she can speak all of these languages and do all this communication stuff. She knows how to talk to people. Sulu can navigate the ship through anything. I mean, even when the screen is like filled with an asteroid, he still manages to get around it. And Scotty, bless his little heart, he makes it all go. He's resourceful. Even when he doesn't have any more to give, he figures out a way to make more to give. He's incredibly resourceful, right? Like they all have confidence and they all work well together and they all know what they're doing. They're trained, they're professionals. Tell me yes if you would like to feel like that, right? Like you know what you're doing would feel pretty good. But you also know that there are these other guys. Now, we call them red shirts, right? They like are nameless. Nobody knows who they are. They end up beaming down on the planet and dying. Always. They're wandering around. They're not listening. They don't have a sense of mission. They like make bad decisions and they're dead. No one ever finds out their name. And it's always like a silly mistake that gets him dead, right? So I would like to ask you, in your business right now, do you feel like the crew of the Enterprise or do you feel like a red shirt? Are you wandering around, picking up random rocks, looking around, being like, what am I supposed to do? Somebody tell me what to do. Or you do feel like, yes, we've got this. We'll get out of here. We'll navigate. We'll communicate. We will look at data. We will like, it's hard to say data and not think about TNG, right? So a lot of times we feel like the red shirt. You want to be the captain of your own ship. You want to be the bridge of the original Enterprise. You do not want to be rolling around about to die. Like Captain Kirk, you want to be confident and bold. Like Spock, you want to have logic and data at your fingertips. You want to make good decisions that are like logic and not emotional. You want to have excellent communication skills in your business. Like when you're talking to the people outside of your business, you want to be able to communicate what the mission of your business is. You want to be able to navigate the roughest terrain. You want to be a problem solver like Scotty and figure out how you can make it happen even when you feel like you can't make it happen. But instead, we end up feeling like the expendable crewmen. Like they're just like, no one knows who you are. No one knows what you're doing. You're stumbling around uncertain territory. You're pretty sure you or your business is going to die at any minute. And you're not going to like successfully get where you're going because you're not even the captain. You don't even have a title. You're just a red shirt. You probably work security, let's be honest. So a lot of times your business feels like an alien planet. Who is going to buy what you sell? Who is occupying this planet? Where the heck are they? Are they hiding under rocks? Are they in some cave worshiping their planet's god? Like, where are they? How do you talk to them? How are you even going to communicate? How do you get more of them to connect with you, to trust you, to come out behind the rock and yet not imprison you? Like, how do you actually connect with them in a way that is effective and doesn't scare them off? And then where the heck are you going? Like, you beam down. I mean, old Star Trek, they only ever like went one direction because they didn't have a set built that was very big. But like, if you're really on a planet, where the heck do you go? How do you navigate yourself around it? How do you make good decisions? How do you even have access? What is the data that you need in order to make good decisions in your business? And then how do you decide what to do next? How do you like problem solve when something comes up and your engines break? Like, how do you get going? How many of you have those questions? Yeah, I know, because I talk to y'all and you tell me like, if that's you, if you're feeling like a red shirt, I want you to type yes. Or maybe you can even type like a red heart or a red circle. The thing is, I don't want you to have to feel that way. You don't have to feel this way. But you stop feeling like a red shirt when you make a big mindset shift. And that mindset shift is that instead of identifying with a red shirt, you're waiting around for somebody else to tell you what to do. You become the captain of your own ship. Become the captain of your own dream. You decide, I'm the guy running this thing. The guy, the gal, the non-binary person who is running this thing. I am the person who's going to make the decision. I am going to find the solution. Now, the interesting thing is, even though there are all those different people and positions, the fact is at any moment, Captain Kirk could jump into one of them. Like sometimes Sulu gets passed out, Captain Kirk navigates. Sometimes Spock isn't at his place and Captain Kirk has like been flung over there. So he looks up and he reads the computer. He can do every job. The captain can do every job and he knows how it works because he's the captain. What makes him the captain? skills, experience, and a deep-seated confidence that he is going to figure this out, that he is the person who can make it happen. Now, when we look at what those really archetypes, all of the people on the enterprise are archetypes, and they are qualities that we need to have in order to be the captain of our own ship, of our own dream. So the captain has the mission and he has a confidence. He knows where they're going and he's taking them there, and he has the confidence that he is the person to do it. Spock has a data and the logic and the numbers. In your business, knowing your numbers and knowing what data, what KPI, which are key performance indicators, that's the fancy business term for them, knowing what numbers are going to tell you the information you need to know in order to make a better decision, that is key. That is the first officer or Spock's job. Uhura has communication. Communication is key to your business. How else are people going to know what you sell? How else are people going to know what the value is and why they should pay you more for it? You need to talk to people about your thing. You need to listen to be able to speak their language so that they value what it is you're doing. You also need to know how to navigate, how to set a course, pick a goal, set a course, how you're going to get there, how you're going to get around problems, and like how you drive your ship day to day. How does your day go? Are you navigating your day, or is your day running over you, throwing asteroids at you and knocking you out? We've all been there, especially with small children. And then, like Scotty, you have to know how you're going to problem solve, how you're going to actually get the engine going, how are you going to build momentum so that you keep going. Because here's the thing about navigation and problem solving, like resourcefulness, is that in real life, a real airplane, we're not talking about spaceship now, a real airplane is hardly ever on course. You've probably heard this. What pilots are doing is constantly making tiny navigational changes to bring the plane closer to course, but it's almost never 100% on course. It's always just a little off. And there's constant navigation, pulling it back on course, pulling it back on course. Your business is exactly like this. 98% of the time, it is not going to feel like you are perfectly online with reaching your goal or getting to your destination. But like you make some movement and then you realize, oh, wait. And then you make some movement, you think, let's try this. And you make some movement, and you're like, let's do this. You build momentum and you're like, whoa, wait, it's getting away from me. It's going over there a little bit. Well, let me pull it back over. And then resourcefulness comes down to trying things over and over and over. Being consistent with things until you see that they work. Once you see that they don't work, changing it up. This is why I guide my students through doing regular review every month, looking at, okay, what did I try this month? What made money? What didn't make money? What worked? What did not work? How am I going to change it? So you see, having a business that has these, that you are doing all of these things, you are looking at your numbers, you are communicating with your people, you are navigating, you are being resourceful and trying to solve problems and trying new things and experimenting. That is what a business is. There is a big difference. I'm going to say this like 10 times. There's a big difference between having a business and just selling stuff. So selling stuff is often by chance. A lot of us start out that way. You make a cool thing, people like it, you let them buy it. Maybe you make a couple more things, you sell it in a place and it's working out. That's selling stuff. That's where almost all of us start. But at some point, if you want to reach a bigger goal, if you want to say make $1,000 a month, or you want to replace your day job salary, you need to actually shape a business. So there's a difference between being a crewman and being a captain. A crewman wanders around and does what he's told and waits to be told something. That's what being an employee is like. No offense to you employees out there, but it is like someone else is telling you what to do in your job. A captain has to decide what to do and then make himself or herself do it. A captain has the skills and experience to figure out what she's going to do on her own, and then to learn and adjust and navigate and adjust and learn and experiment and navigate endlessly. That's the difference between selling stuff, which is just like you wait for people to say you want the thing and you let them have it, and having a business where you are deciding what you're selling. You are deciding what the value is, what your profit margin needs to be, how you're going to communicate it. You have a strategy for communicating it. That's a business. So it requires a mindset shift to go from being to go into the mindset of being a captain. And it requires a mindset shift from being just a maker, a person who is like focused on being the crafts person behind it, to actually being a business owner, to being a person who is building a business around their product. So they're not just making products, they're not just designing patterns, but they're building a whole business around it. And the business's job is to keep you on path, to help you reach your goal, to value your thing appropriately, and then communicate that value to your people. Ooh, I'm getting some hundreds and light bulb emojis on Instagram. What do you guys think over on Facebook? Give me some light bulb emojis if you're feeling it. Yeah. So a business, selling stuff is just like, you just show up, you sell some stuff. And it's fine if you started like that. Blackberry and Sage said, I needed this today. High five. I'm glad. A business has several parts. We've actually covered these parts a few times already in this video. Sales and profit, knowing your numbers. Mission, having a direction. Communication, having a way that you reach, talk to, and connect with the people who are going to buy what you make. If you don't have mostly we call that sales and marketing, but that's like a communication strategy. It is a way that you're going to communicate. You're also going to listen for the language of your people and speak to them in that language. And then you have a mission, you have a navigation plan to get there, and you have a way of reassessing so that you're problem solving and you're finding resources all the time. That is the difference between selling something in a business. It doesn't have 500 moving parts. It has 3 main areas. And then you following through with it is the 4th thing. One of the key ways to know you're not a crewman and you're ready to be a captain is to have a mission and stay focused. For you, Blackberry and Sage says she's in the stage of doing sales, but she knows there's a business in there. Yes, you're going to build it. You are going to build the structure around you selling into a business by knowing your profit and your numbers. That's your data. By knowing your marketing strategy and by following through to get where you want to go. Yes, Remembrance Pottery. Natalie says, I'm building a business. It's not there yet, but I'm on my way. Fiber Seed Lindsay says, business captain with imposter syndrome. I feel you. I feel you. Sigrid says, I'm definitely a captain, but very afraid to crash the enterprise. You told me the other day that you didn't feel like you were skilled enough to sell it yet. You have to be selling it. You have to be selling something to have a business. Okay, so one of the key ways to know you're not a red shirt and ready to be a captain is that you have your mission, you set your goal, and you stay focused. So I actually created a worksheet that is going to help you get focused on just one area of your business for just 2 weeks. That's your marketing. It is basically going to ask you questions. You apply it to yourself, and it comes, I'm calling it a Stop Distractions Kit. It comes with a video lesson and a worksheet that's going to help you just focus on one area. You still got to do your profit. You still got to set your mission. You still got to have a whole marketing strategy. This is the first step to help you. We will talk more about other key ways to not be a red shirt and to be a captain in upcoming videos. I'm going to be back here again live. So head over to the description to download that kit. And if you have any questions, you can ask them now. Now it's time to ask your question. I'll be live again in a couple of days, Monday at 1 and next Friday at 1. So I will talk to you then.